Hello to viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Camera Tuesday, we're going to talk about Sony A7 Mark V. So let's dive deep into it. Now first, we are in the future now, as in 2026, meaning all major camera system, meaning it does not matter whether by Sony, Canon, or Nikon, whatever have you, they're all good, they're all competent, and mirrorless has grown finally, meaning it's a done deal. Like how DSLR took its sweet time to go from film cameras to DSLR to where it's like, just trust it. Same happened with mirrorless. Like mirrorless, the early days, it was Panasonic and Olympus started with Micro Four Third. It was very half-baked option. And again, for some reason, they used to have tiny batteries. I'm like, the easiest way to make sure people love your equipment, have a big ass battery. But they were like, no, what if we have tiny ass battery and people hated us? No wonder they went bankrupt. Olympus did at least. So that's how it started, and slowly Sony jumped into it, and slowly Nikon and Canon also jumped into it. And there was a time where they were like, is it really serious? Nikon made N1 series, which was like 1-inch sensor, which my brother bought, unfortunately, completely abandoned it. Canon made it, they called it M series, half abandoned it, but it's also gone now. So we have reached a point where mirrorless is there. It is the thing. DSLR is done. Like there will not be any new DSLR. And the most difficult jump was for Nikon. While Nikon had amazing autofocus, you have to understand DSLR autofocus is different because you have a mirror. Mirror has a beam splitter, and that beam splitter focuses it on a different array of sensors. Those are the points that you see, phase detect points. And it was really good, but here's the deal. When you are in mirrorless, you don't have that physical separation. You have to take that sensor, embed it inside the color sensor. That's difficult. That's the difference between color cinema sensors and your normal system. Cinema sensor does not have that compromise. That's why the colors on that, it looks different. Even though megapixel could be the same, sensor could be the same manufacturer, it would be different because it does not have that phase detect like hardware built into it. So Nikon had the hardest time to jump from that. And again, Canon had a lucky break because they developed the technology known as dual pixel autofocus. This camera has that, Canon 800D. It was the first time they introduced dual pixel autofocus in APS-C. I bought it and it worked. Heck, it made 3 YouTube channels with it. So it really worked. So Nikon has improved a lot in autofocus. Now you can trust it, and they have a lot of great video set. They were the last one to take video seriously, but they have caught up and they directly bought red. So that is there. However, that being said, you have to be a bit mindful with their third-party lens ecosystem. Why? It's a bit confusing, as in they actually have a discussion. You can't just manufacture a lens and put it. They will sue you. So what you have to do is have a discussion with them. What does it mean? It simply means you are not allowed to make a one-to-one clone of their lens. As in, if they have 24x70, aka Holy Trinity lens, you cannot make it. You have to make 28x75. Only then they will allow you to work. So be mindful. If you are thinking about, hey, there are third-party lenses for Nikon, yes, there are. But if you're like, hey, I'm going to buy 24x70 third-party because those are cheap, yeah, be mindful of that. Now, again, you may be like, hey, 28x75, that's not an issue for me because, again, I do more on tele end, so I'm happy. Or you could be completely, yeah, this is not going to work because, like, okay, 24:4, like, okay, that's 4mm. Does that matter? Yes. Yes. In wide angle, every millimeter counts. So that is a very weird push-pull relationship Nikon has with third-party lens manufacturer. So be mindful. Do not select the body first. Select the lens that you want. And Canon. Now Canon, I am using Canon from like 2017, 18. Canon 800D, when it was released, I bought it a few months after that. Fundamentally, their cripple hammers are really frustrating, like really frustrating. Even in this camera, like it could have been perfect for me. Again, I do not blame Canon for 30-minute limit because, again, that was European Union law. But Canon was like, they could have given a clean HDMI into this, and I would have been able to do live stream with that camera perfectly, but they did not. Canon always does that. Like I bought Canon lens 70-300. I was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, where is the lens hood? No, that you have to buy separately. Okay, where's the lens hood? No. They made a new model, so lens hood is different, even though the outer diameter is same. Okay, where is that? No, it's not available. This happened to me buying a lens that has been out for almost a year in a Canon showroom in Bangalore. Yeah. And again, let's not even talk about battery. Oh my god, the amount of battery BS they do is like, oh, this is Canon EOS R6, GG, R6 Mark II, GG, R6 Mark III. Why the heck battery changed? Yeah, we needed to F you. The battery is same, by the way. You can literally put it in, it will just, oh yeah, it's not the P series battery, so yeah, the features are disabled, some advanced features. I'm like, really? So again, one time I even had a battery failure with this one. It's like shopkeepers did not, they're like, sir, they sell at least 14, 15 active battery models. So again, Canon is really bad. Like if you really want to see how bad they were, look into Canon EOS RP. You will hate it. They were like, hey, what if we remove all eye recording? This camera has that, and brand new R series is like, what if we remove that feature? It's like Canon was really bad. They were really high horse on their self. It's like, no, we are Canon. No, they got their ass kicked. Now, how badly they got their ass kicked? They are disabling third-party lenses. What does that mean? That simply means you cannot buy a third-party lens that works with it and it will give you autofocus. It will not. You can get manual lenses, not autofocus. And if other manufacturer, let's say Sigma, Tamron or Voigtlander, they make it, they will get sued. And again, it did happen. You can't just reverse engineer it. Canon has to allow it. So that has happened. So it is frustrating. And why Canon is doing it? Well, the best analysis I've seen from a business point of view is that Chinese lenses manufacturers have went from Chinese crappy to like, damn, these are good, and damn, these are horrifically cheap, meaning a Japanese manufacturer cannot keep up. Flat out, if those lenses started to work with R series lenses, yeah, they're only gonna sell bodies and they will not be making money back using lenses. So that's an issue. That's why flat out third party, no. You can buy a Canon R to EF adapter and buy third party EF lenses, but so be mindful. However, that being said, that being third party lenses being said, they have improved a lot. Like R8 is genuinely good, even though it's a low cost camera, but it is genuinely good for its price. R6 Mark III, at least in feature set, it's really good. So their cripple hammer is breaking apart. So that is there. Now Sony. Now Sony is a newcomer because again, Nikon and Canon both are 1 century old, give or take. So Sony was like a technological company that Tokyo drifted into camera. They were making video camera. Be mindful, Star Wars, the prequel series, it was shot in Sony camera, and it was a very big deal back then. The first full HD 2K digital pipeline for a flagship movie. So Sony had like sold enough of it. Like they successfully cornered the market. Like if you look at their sales unit, how many units they are selling from all shopping website, it's good. The amount of units they are selling, it's good. How do we know it's actually true? Third party company, basically it's a Japanese company, and somebody in China is like, hey, we are making microphones. Hey, enough people are buying our microphone and they have Sony camera that we will make an adapter that works with the hot shoe. Like think about it, they have to develop it on their own things. They have to back engineer the basically audio connection that is going through that. Digital, by the way, it's a digital connection, not analog. And they did that. That's how much Sony has sold for DJI to do that. Technically, it can be done with a Canon system. Technically, it can be done with Nikon system, but they are way too new, and Sony has been doing this for a very long time though. They have sold enough of it. Third-party lenses options are great because again, when they started, they took a gamble where it's like, yeah, our lenses, if you remember, like during this camera time, as in like A7 Mark II, A7 Mark I era, everybody was like, people will buy a Sony camera in the future, but they will buy Canon lenses in the future because their lens, Mark I lenses, poo-poo, flat out, poo-poo, just like poo-poo. So they were like, okay, third-party lenses, but they had some control, as in like autofocus will be there, it will work, video will be there, it will work, but some advanced function will be disabled, like FPS, as in like if your burst rate is above 15 FPS, third-party lenses is like, nah, man, nah. Sony is like, bro, only 15, bro. So that is there. And you do have to wait for every launch, you have to wait for a firmware update, but again, it will work. Or an Epic accessories ecosystem, again, they sold so much of it, it worked. However, let this be very clear. Once you have bought it, you can't change it. So if you bought, let's say, Nikon ZR, you can't change it. If you bought a Canon EOS R6 Mark III, because again, it's not just body. Body is the cheap part. It's the moment you start to buy lens, the moment you start to buy battery, the moment you start to buy memory, yeah, your flexibility goes down drastically. So once you select wisely, be happy with it. And be mindful, this is 2026. So you're going to be fine. Let that be very clear. That's the good part. You're going to be fine. This is a good offering. This is also a good offering. This is also a very good offering. You're going to be fine. Okay? You're going to be fine. So if you have bought any of these and you are like, looking into it, don't give yourself frustration. So A7 Mark V now is the first launch of next generation SoC. Let's be very clear. Sensor is not expensive, even a global shutter. What is expensive is the SoC puppy. These puppies are expensive. You can easily check into your smartphone. You can get like 200 megapixel sensor, like same sensor that is used by flagship Sony and flagship Samsung and flagship Apple. But the SoC costs so much that's like, yeah, that's the part where they cheap out. So SoCs are expensive, more expensive than sensor. So generally companies will create one SoC as in like a application specific integrated circuit ASIC, and they will milk it for 3 to 4 years. Same is done by GoPro, same is done by DJI, same is done by Canon, same is done by Sony. So Sony introduced this puppy Bionics XR in 2020 with A7S3. This puppy was first time introduced to the public, and they were like, you know what, AI could help us achieve even better autofocus. So AI co-processing unit was added. So this 3 was the backbone. So basically last 5 years, as in like from 2020 to now, all Sony cameras have this SoC. And now they have created a new one. So what is this new puppy? This new puppy is marriage of these 3 people. So now it has XR2, as in like all things are inside. It's a dual core, and the AI processing is inside. And it's a big deal. Like if you are a Sony user, this is the biggest deal in this camera. Why? This is the first time. This is very rare. The battery life has improved while performance has also gone up. Let that sink in. You can have this camera, use the same battery you can use with A7 Mark IV, and this camera will give you more performance while saving battery life. That's a big jump. That is like big jump. And again, this another thing is that pisses off anyone who buys Canon is like every model jump. What if we created new battery? By the way, Panasonic also does that. It's like, what if we have different battery with more oomph? It's like, here's Sony. FZ100 battery, Z100 series battery. They have been running it for 7 or 9 years, if I'm not mistaken. They have not changed it. Now, to be fair, Sony is the company that made lithium ion for commercial use for public. That was the first company. 1998, that's the first time they released it. So they do know lithium ion. Like the only company knows lithium ion as good as that is Panasonic and Samsung. So again, Canon is like, no, every model is a different battery. This is like, bro, buy it and forget it. Buy it and forget it. Heck, buy new camera body, your old battery will give you same performance, because again, the battery would have degraded, but the camera has improved. So it's like same point. I'm like, damn. So that's a big deal. Like that's a big deal. Having a better battery life, meaning if you have 3 batteries, how much work you can do would be exponentially larger. So that's there. And sensor. Now sensor they have made partially stacked. Now understand it this way. Sensor is this, there are 2 core elements to sensor. Silicon, that is converting your photons into voltage, and then there is A to D, analog to digital converter, and logic circuits of that. Now generally, because of the complexity, you do not want these 2 things to be separated. Old days we used to have that, like 90s. Sensor was a different thing. There was a circuit board behind it. Now we have those things integrated. Analog to digital converter is integrated behind, basically on the same substrate as your actual sensor. Penalty, there is not enough space, so they have to put everything on the sides. And stacked sensor simply puts it behind it. Basically, you layer it up, you build the circuit, logic gates, all the communication circuit, everything brick by brick, you build it up, and then you layer the silicon. Manufacturing complexity is bonkersly high, but benefit, readout speed is exponentially far, because again, the trace length is very quick. So that is very complex, but does work. So, and very naked system. Basically, you have a silicon, and on the perimeters you put all the processing and all that. Basically, just overlap. It works. It's amazing thing. It's just that it's not as fast. So partially stacked simply means there is a bit of overlap. They did not went full manufacturing complexity of stacked. They did not went full basic of putting everything on the periphery. So it's a bit compromise, so to say. It's faster than this system, but not as fast as stacked sensor. Nikon has also done that. Sony has also done that. So this is what it has. So even though it's 33 megapixel, it is exponentially faster than the last variant, aka A7 Mark IV. Like A7 Mark IV to this puppy, it's a magnificent jump in readout speed. And they have upgraded the thermals. While A7 Mark IV was decent in thermals, but it was not GG decent. So going from this to this is now GG in terms of thermal system. They are doing 7K downsampling from 4K to 60 fps. There is no crop finally, and 4K 120 fps is there, but it's cropped. Now why it is cropped? most likely it's cropped either because of the sensor, as in like sensor A to D is behind the sensor, so it might have an inherent limitation for cost reason, or what is more likely, the sensor could shine, is just that yeah, they are blocking it. Hey, we're gonna sell it in A1 or A9, something like that. So that is there. Now they have also did a tiny improvement, that is USB-C power delivery is available on both USB-C port. I'm like, okay, why there was a micro B port? Micro B port was accessory port, meaning if you wanted a cable release, that was micro B. If you wanted time port injection, LAN port, all those were micro B. That's why they were not changing it. I'm pretty sure with this upgrade, all upcoming accessories will be USB-C, and all the cameras from now will have that. And the biggest advantage you will have is that, hey, you can connect this to your laptop and you can transfer file at 10 Gbps. GG. But here's the deal, you will not be able to charge the battery. So they're like, hey, what if you put mobile charger, normal mobile charger, any port? By the way, 10 Gbps is the top one, the bottom one is the USB 2.0. So put the power delivery supported in both. So you can take your mobile charger, put it in the bottom one, put your laptop on the top one, transfer the file while charging the battery at fast speed. And this will also help you doing long live session with this, because again, if you're using it as a webcam, it will drain the battery. But if the battery can be sustained from a wall charger, GG. So it just basically makes your life easier. The only feature that would make it even better if they had like SSD recording, but again, I think only two companies do SSD recording, Blackmagic and Panasonic. Nobody else does SSD recording, but a man can dream. So at least it does make your life easier. And people who are doing a lot of time lapse, they are like, yeah, this is sure to take money, this is good. So that is there. And again, the fact that it has 10 Gbps USB rather than basic 1.5 Gbps, that's also not lot of cost cutting. And two-way tilting screen, because they're like, hey, a lot of photographers are very adamant about it. They do not want the display to flip out. Again, I'm using flipped out display, but again, as a video, that's necessary. But like as a photographer, you want the optical axis to remain exactly the same. This is like, okay, have both, have fun, I don't care, like don't complain, have fun. So two-way tilting screen is there, and dual SD card. One is SD card, one is CFast card. And now you can do 4K 30 FPS, which again, I'm reasonably sure this puppy could have done that. But the cameras were launched during what we call chip shortage era. So I'm pretty sure the USB converter chip was out of stock. That's why they had some weird spec chip where it was like, hey, it can do 4K 15 FPS. What the hell? This can do 4K 30 FPS. Again, I wished 4K 60, but it's a USB, and if you need 4K 60 streaming, you have full-size HDMI, so that is there. But again, compared to last one, it is a massive improvement, and realistically, most of the time you want full HD 60 FPS. So that is there. Very good system is there indeed. So what about the upgrades? Basically, readout speed has improved drastically. Basically, if you compare A7 Mark IV to this A7 Mark V, it's night and day difference. It's not like little bit, no, it's night and day difference. It's like, damn. Like, this is one of the few times where it's like, no, I can jump from Mark IV to Mark V and I'll be happy. That's how big of a jump it is, like at least 2x. It is almost reaching a point where it's like, you will not be able to compare. Like Nikon is a bit faster, but again, let that be clear. Compared to the last one, it was like, whoa, that was like, you are going. So it's much reduced, ludicrously fast. So that is there. And burst performance have been turbocharged. Again, new SoC is flexing, and sensor is also flexing, 30 FPS. Now here's the, that's not the flexing part, because again, technically I'm pretty sure Z9 had like what, 100 FPS or 120 FPS, but they always had to compromise on bit depth. Heck, I'm pretty sure Nikon dropped it to JPEG, and Canon also drops the bit rate from 14, bit depth from 14 to 12. They're like, no, full. If we give you 30, it is full 30, meaning there is not even a single ounce of compromise. So that is their full raw depth, and I'm pretty excited for next generations of camera, next as in like now coming cameras where they have a bigger RAM chip and it will like, and then you can make a movie out of it. So 30 FPS is their full bit depth, that's the bit part, and you have 3 raw options. Lossless compressed, like okay, if you can losslessly compress, why a lossy compression option is there? Lossless compression is a complex algorithm. All cameras have to do this. When you compress it, it requires a lot of compute, as in like cut. It takes a lot of compute. That's why it's not what you call priceless. It does take horsepower to do. So we have a lot of lossless compression algorithms, but they are very extensive, computationally extensive. That's why you generally get lossy option also. Lossy option is like, I don't care. Like most people are not gonna actually see it. It's like, you know, just do your bare minimum, better than JPEG, but don't go full YOLO. You don't need full YOLO. And then you have a bit in between, basically lossless compressed and fully compressed. Yeah, there is a bit of a compressed HQ. For most people, just use lossless compressed. Nowadays, even though A6 on camera is struggling, your computer, if it's modern computer, as in like anything made after 2020, you good. Don't worry about it. So that is it. And pre-capture, which again, Sony does have the pre-capture, but only for flagship. And Canon does give pre-capture for surprisingly cheap camera, like Canon R8 is the cheapest. So this time they're like, okay, we're going to give you, and here's the deal, we're going to give you 1 second rather than 20, which is 0.5 second of Canon system, 1 whole second. And they also give you fine interval control. This is a, like, you know, more maturity that they gained from A9 Mark III. Because again, if you are good a trained photographer, you don't have lag of 1 second. You're like, that's not 1 second, that's half of a second maximum, like a quarter of a second realistically. So you can have a little bit of buffer, and it allows surprisingly great intervals, like 0.01 second, like 1 frame before that, 0.05 seconds, like few frames. That's how you can do that. So surprisingly fine-tuned control. So is that useful? Yes. If you are good at tight reaction time, this means you will not have bloatware in your SD card or CFast type card. 4K 60 without crop is there, but be mindful, it does have 2 options, as in advanced noise reduction and no advanced noise reduction. Don't worry about it, disable the noise reduction, you'll get the full frame, the end. Now, then why do you need noise reduction? Enjoy it if you are doing very high ISO shooting in very low light scenario. Other than that, it's not needed. And it's doing the 6K scale down. That's not a big deal. Basically, the scale down, do not expect this to like, whoa, but you would be shocked how better rolling shutter is, especially if you're coming from older Sonys, especially A7 Mark IV. It's like, whoa, rolling shutter is like, whee. That's like very tight. And camera has been tested with 40 degrees Celsius from Sony's point. And again, of course, it does overheat, but it works at 40 degrees Celsius. Like, it's unsafe temperature for humans for long exposure. So, and only other camera company I know from memory that has done that is Panasonic with their Lumix lineup, which has fan. So that takes some serious balls. But again, it makes sense given the fact that A, they have thermal unit for the last generation SoC, and this time their SoC is far more efficient. So even if SoC is only 20% efficient thermally, it's like, bro, we good, we got this. And everybody who has it, not a single person has managed to overheat it, unless one person was overheating it by 30 degrees Celsius ambient. Actually, I don't even keep my AC at 30. My AC is at like 27, 28 degrees Celsius. So that's fine, meaning I can use this camera here and without any issue. So meaning if this camera overheats, either it's a defective piece or no other camera would have survived without fan. And shutter speed has been upgraded to 1/16,000th of a second. Electronic shutter, of course, but damn, 1/16,000th of a second. That is there. I should try that. Like, I have a firecracker going like and have bursted. Something might be interesting. So that is it. And real-time autofocus has been improved because again, now they have integrated everything. The SoC is so powerful now. So basically, how much of a sensor is covered by a person, it can be 20 to 30% smaller and it can still work. Meaning, how far a person is there, instead of, oh, there is a person, I'm capturing that person. No, it's like, oh, that's a person, that's the head, that's the eye. It's good. It's like, it's good. Like, at this point in time, the hit rate is shut up, take money. Like, the hit rate is that good. Again, Sony was really good with it. Now they are just flexing. It's like, bro, we good. Like, oh, you're shooting a duck, here's a duck eye. Oh, you're shooting a dog, here's a dog eye. Like, we good, we got this. So the IBUS has also been improved, but again, it is not whoa, it's good. Do not expect like whoa, just better. Auto white balance, this a lot of people are receiving like really good results. Whereas like, whoa, Sony used to have that Sony color kind of thing. Now the auto white balance has been tuned. It's like, and again, it has AI apparently. So it does work. And that's the whole point. Adjustable pre-capture from 0.03 second to 1 second. That's like, that's a very advanced thing. So final question is like, for whom this is? Now, it's a grade for people who are in Sony ecosystem and they are wanting to upgrade. If you are like in flagship, you do not need to. But if you are in anything like A7 Mark III, damn, this will be like, whoa. If you are in A7 Mark IV, it still will be like, whoa. So it's a good for Sony's ecosystem. And it does not have open gate. A lot of people will complain, and does not have 120 FPS. uncropped. Here's the deal. People want it, but they do not want to pay for it, because here's the deal. It's not Canon that gave that feature first. It's not Nikon that gave that feature first. It's Blackmagic and Lumix had that. Nobody buys them. Like, go into any shopping website, you will find Panasonic, there will be barely 10,000 comments, and Sony will be like, there will be 10,000 complaints, because there will be millions of sales. Like, not million, but you get the point. Like, it's exponential. Like, people want these features, but they don't want to pay for it. Why? Because other features are more important. Meaning, if I have to choose between Panasonic autofocus and Sony autofocus, well, their sales volume does tell you everything you need to know. So, flat out there. And it's like, okay, 6K, 8K RAW versus, like, Sony's 4K. Well, how poorly R8 performed. Sorry, R8, I'm saying R5. And again, R5 day one, it's like, it's awesome. And then first 5 minutes, people are using it. Wait a minute, it overheats. And it does not even cool down. Like, that was the bad part. It was like, it overheated, cool, awesome, no problem. It does not cool down. Why? Because there was an insulator design. So this guy, he literally bought that camera and was so frustrated, he opened it up, like a $5,000 camera. He opened it up, put a copper plate, and tada, 90% of the problem solved. I've linked the video down, DIY perk. I'm pretty sure an engineer designed it with copper plate in mind, or maybe some better vapor chamber or something like that, but they did not put it because it will cannibalize their C series lineup. And Canon always does that. Again, even R6 Mark III is genuinely good in terms of horsepower, but it is not a good camera. Why? Especially for video, because again, if you are doing anything more than a clip recording, you will find that it overheats. It's overheating for people who are in Western Hemisphere and their atmospheric temperature is like, oh, I'm testing at 22 degrees Celsius. Bro, that's freezer for me. But like, yeah, 22 degrees Celsius is still overheating. 4K 60 overheating. It's like, let alone if it's overheating in 4K 60, what do you think it will happen if 7K or RAW? That's the whole point. Like, yeah, it can do it, you just can't sustain it, exactly like R8. And again, it's not the hardware problem. I'm pretty sure a manager decided, don't put the heat sink. It is way too fine-tuned, like it's way too fine-tuned. That's why I would urge you to watch it. So, flat out. A lot of people say, oh, I want this and that. Why haven't you been buying Lumix cameras, or why haven't you been buying basically, Blackmagic cameras? Blackmagic has been doing this from like long ago. So reality is, it's a very big difference between want and need. So, and let this be very clear. If you are one of those people who need this, like that is your requirement, like I need this. Let's say you do a lot of music video and people do love to shoot music video at 120 FPS and then slow it down. Cool, awesome, GG. Then do not buy R6 Mark III, please buy C50. C50 is the same hardware, but it has a cooling system. It will survive that. It's designed to survive that. And if you're hell-bent on buying R6, please buy the cooling unit with it and hope for the best. Although I have not seen any company making a Peltier module, so I don't know how effective it would be, but better than nothing. So let it be very clear, like ask any professional, what would they rather have? Very high resolution and this and that, or a camera that they can trust? Like everybody complains like, oh, Sony has to do that. It's like, no, they don't. Why don't they? Yeah, here's the deal. They are shooting movies, they are shooting TV shows, they are shooting everything under the sun using their FX6 and all that jazz. None of them have a RAW. It's like everybody opens their mouth, I want RAW. It's like, yeah, that is, for 1 hour video clip, it would be 600 gigabyte. There's one guy, a cathode ray dude, he does Blackmagic camera and RAW. And he's like, yeah, this consumes server. It does not consume hard drive, it consumes server. So let that be very clear. It's this classic part, like, if you watch Linus Tech Tips, you think everybody has like, 5090 in their computer, and then you look at Steam surveys, like, bro, most people are still at 1030 or 1060 GPU. So that's the same point. Sony knows this. Again, they have a lot of penetration in TV, movie, and news industry. So they know, like, everybody opening their mouth versus they are actually paying for it. So again, there is nothing wrong with Canon, but please do not buy the R6 if you want reliable video. Please buy the fan one. And if it sells a lot, right, here's the deal, we can guess about it, right? You are guessing, I'm guessing. If it sells a lot, it proves the whole point that Sony was playing a right gamble. If it does not sell a lot, we know that Sony's gamble failed. And as of now, this is BNH when I'm recording this. And again, I also did a live stream of the launch. It's already in the top seller. Already in the top seller. And this camera, C50 is in wish, like top wish. People want to wish for it. They just don't want to pay for it. And again, I have no idea why the heck A7V is available with 28 to 70 f2 lens for way too little of a price. Is that lens really that bad? Or that lens is not selling? Like, what the hell? So again, I'm not sure whether that lens will be available in India as a bundle or not. but that would be horrible. So again, we have to wait for sales data to actually know whether it was successful or not. And third-party lenses makes it very, shut up, take money. DJI microphone alone makes it shut up, take money for a lot of people. And stable thermal, that is important. Anybody in Indian hemisphere, you're gonna need it. You need that. And price in India is unknown as of now. So that's the unfortunate part. Go to Indian website is like, available soon, coming soon. This sort of answer is there. So, and again, please do not convert dollar price to Indian rupees. It does not work that way. We have our GST, we have our VAT, we have all our taxes and all that. So it would be different. So we have to wait. And for now, we have to relax and let other things sort out. And again, especially third-party lens firmwares need some time to sort out. So let's see how things unfold. But again, as of now, I'm happy. And again, if you're a Canon user, you want Sony to do good, so Canon will do better. If you're a Nikon user, you want Sony to do better, so Nikon would do even better. More competition, everybody wins. And I can guarantee you, if R6 and Nikon ZR was not good, this price would have been much higher. So this was my presentation on Sony A7 Mark 5. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst a friend. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me disappointment. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.